Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm in my tunnel today. Y'all, I have an hour before meetings start. So I thought I would come out here and to try to get something done. Y'all know I am the queen of, hey, if you ain't got but 20 minutes and you need to go garden, see what you can get done in 20 minutes. I am the queen of that. If you are new here, I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. And on our farm, we garden, we homestead, we cook from scratch, we do DIY, food preservation, you name it, we talk about it. And so we are kicking off into the summer gardening season. So that means, y'all, the summer press is about to be on when it's nothing but day by day harvesting and taking care of the summer vegetables. We're not quite there yet where we're into harvest season, but we still are getting things. For the most part, things are in the ground, but we are kind of transitioning between spring and summer. And so one of the things I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go ahead and pull up my carrots that I did for the spring. So in a week or so ago, I showed you me harvesting this bed right here on the opposite side. I had 2 rows of carrots and we harvested, you and I together, 1 whole row. And then I've left the other row in there, but I'm going to go ahead and harvest those carrots so that we can be done with the carrots and then I can have this bed open. So there's a couple of reasons why I want to harvest the carrots. One, the temperatures are about to start to escalate. And then also I'm in my tunnel right now. And normally we have the shade cloth on by now, but we have not had a chance to put it on. So the temperatures outside, like today, it gets up to like 85. Right now it's like 70, but it's already close over 90 in the tunnel. And so the thing with carrots, they don't like heat. They like the cold. They get sweeter the colder that it gets, especially they get kissed by frost. But as the heat goes, you don't want to keep your carrots in too long because they can turn bitter and just don't taste as good. So instead of me risking the carrots, plus I could use the space, I'm just going to go ahead and pull these carrots now because the temperatures are starting to escalate and we don't have this shade cloth on. So let's grab our basket. We're going to do that. And then we're going to also go out and talk about our onions that we have growing out here. And I want to show you the stage that we're in, and we're going to do a couple of things to the onions that I'm going to talk to you about as well. But I hope that you guys are doing well. If you're new, put down below, tell me how long you've been gardening and what state you are in. And if you've been here for a while, just say, hey, I appreciate you coming back. But let's grab a basket and let's go harvest the rest of our carrots. Carrots are, in fact, one of my favorite things to harvest just because it's a root vegetable, so it's like a surprise. You don't know, you don't know what you're gonna get or how big it's gonna be. But in my last video, I talked about, oh, I see a weed, one of those like sticky briar weeds. Hold on a second. Let me get this out of here so I very rarely garden with gloves. And although I should, but it's something about feeling the soil. But anyway, I talked last week extensively about these carrots and how I broadcast sow these, which is what you normally do when you don't have pelleted seed. I normally use pelleted carrot seed. The variety is Bolero by Johnny's. These are not pelleted seeds, so that's why they're so close together. So they're not going to be as big as the ones that I harvested in the fall when I used pelleted seed and was able to space them out. But nevertheless, let's just pull and see what we get. There's another one of those sticky things. Oh, like you can see, these are relatively small right here, very small, but small or zero. Small is better for sure. Let's see, put that right there. So since I've already talked about it, I'm just going to get busy harvesting these and I'll show you what we get. Okay, y'all, just like that, bed is empty of carrots. So that opened up this whole space right here, and then of course I already had that space over there, so we'll be able to fill this bed with more summer goodies. Let me show you what we got. So we got a whole basket of carrots. I would say this is probably the biggest size, which is still decent, but I would say the majority of them are probably like this. So they're much smaller than what I'm used to. I'm telling you, in the fall, they were twice, 2 or 3 times twice this size, but I won't complain, because again, this is what happens when you broadcast sow and you don't thin. So if you're always having carrots, you know, like, well, that's actually a decent one. If you're used to having carrots like this and they're really small and tiny, that is the reason why. You have to, if you're using regular carrot seed, you have to thin your carrots out, because what happens when you broadcast sow, the carrot seeds are so small, it is hard for them to, it's hard to plant just one, is what I'm trying to say. Versus a pelleted seed, it has a coating on it, so you can pick up each individual seed and plant it. But when you broadcast sow and you put in regular seed, you want to thin it out when it gets about 1 or 2 inches tall. That means you go in and you want to take out the extra carrot seeds that have germinated and leave about at least a 2-inch gap in between each carrot. That is how you're going to have bigger carrots. Okay, that is the way to do it. But we didn't do that. We still got carrots. And again, this will just join. This will probably give me 2 more bags. So I will have 4 big size bags of carrots to last me until I can do carrots again, which is in the fall. So I do carrots twice a year, in the spring and the fall, and that's enough. I never have to buy carrots from the store. I don't have to do it. So anyway, that's our carrot harvest, and I'm excited that we now have this bed that we can fill up with stuff, because y'all, I still got plants. I still have plants. You know, I'm not even complaining anymore, because these plants are gonna come in handy. Oh, I just see my dealer's trying to bolt because it is so hot. Let me show you. If you can see that right here, that's flowers starting to form. I'm just gonna snip it off and see if we can, oh, that deal smells so good. See if we can prolong our harvest. I gotta go to the other side to get that. It's so hot in here that things definitely maybe trying to bolt. That's like more of a spring nature and don't like a lot of heat. So those carrots I will take into the house. We will do what we normally do, and then I have some carrot tops right there that I'm gonna take in the house to save for broth, because I didn't do that on the last carrot harvest. So I'm gonna take that in the house and we'll put that in the freezer for when we make broth. Okay, y'all, so now I am in the outside garden. If you're new here, we have the high tunnel, which I was for the carrots, but we also have an outside garden that I'm standing in that we garden in only in the summer. It is 4,000 square feet. We have 8 rows that are 100 feet each, and then along the perimeter we started something just this year for the first time, is filling up the perimeter with raised beds. So in these raised beds, I have primarily onions. And so what I want to do is I need to weed the bed, hence the gloves, because I was out here the other day to start weeding and I got bit by some fire ants. And then also there's some weeds in here. I'm making sure ain't nothing in these gloves. There's some weeds. Oh, it's a pretty bird. It's like a little red bird. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, he just flew away. Okay. There's some weeds in here. It's the kind that's like really stickly and will poke you and like draw blood. So I had to get my real gloves, like real thick gloves that hopefully nothing will penetrate. But I very rarely wear gloves in the garden. So when I wear gloves, you know it's serious. It is serious. I'm just making sure ain't nothing in here that I'm gonna stick my hands in, because it's been a while since I've had them on. So we're gonna go over here and start weeding the bed, and then we're going to start pushing back around the onions so that it would allow for bulbing. So let me take you over here to the onions and we can talk about what onions look like when they are getting close to being ready. So you can see I have a bed of onions there. Then I have another bed of onions here, and then another bed of onions back there. So we have a total of 3 raised beds. The one bed in the middle is just flowers. And then I got more beds that we'll eventually just keep adding down the side. Excuse the weeds, y'all. It's been raining nonstop and we have so much to catch up on. But let me show you inside. We're gonna start with this bed because I'm gonna start with the easiest and then I'll go to the most. Over here is where I saw the ants. So we're gonna start here. But you can see here the onions. So one of the things, if you're new to growing onions, these number of rings or stems coming up will tell you how big the onion is. So the more of these rings, for lack of a better term, the bigger the onion is. So it's looking pretty good, but we want them to start bulbing up. They are probably 2 weeks away from harvesting. And so what you want to do, and I'll show you as soon as I can get the camera situated, you want to like just start moving your finger and opening up the space around the bulb. Let me show you. Okay, so this bed is candy onions. I'm pulling some of the weeds, but also I'm just going to take my finger and start moving the dirt back all around it, giving it room to start bulbing up. These are not bulbing yet like I want them to, so I'm gonna do that to like maybe allow some more space for them to bulb. Now, I just remembered this bed right here, the other bed that's behind me, they are bulbing up, but I planted those earlier. So let me get this done and then I'll try to show you more of a close-up. Okay, so the bed I was just in, I went back to my notes. I planted that bed March the 13th, but the other one that I'm about to show you now, I planted on February the 25th. So when you see this bed, the blue one, you'll see that those onions are bulbing up. So that's the difference that 2 weeks can make. So I actually stopped moving my hand around where to try to get them to bulb up. I'll probably wait on that. Let me go ahead and tackle this one where they're already bulbing and try to move my finger around to allow them some more space. But you'll be able to see the difference when we go down to this bed right here. So I just kind of weeded this other bed, and now let's go to the one in blue. Okay, so you can see in this bed how the onions are bulbing up, meaning you can already see them starting to bulb up, versus in that bed to the right of this, you did not see that. And so these are like 2 weeks ahead of those onions. It's kind of hard to get in, and I'm nervous about these ants. I haven't seen any ants yet, but I got most of it weeded except this part right in there. So I'm gonna finish that part up, and then we'll go back in the tunnel. But that way you can just see the difference. So these are 2 to 3 weeks away from being harvested. Those right here probably have 2 weeks after that. So I would say maybe 4 to 5 weeks on these, but these should be ready in a couple of weeks. Onions take about 80 to 90 days. And right now they're bulbed. They still look, relatively small, but they will get bigger over the next 2 to 3 weeks. You'll be able to see a massive difference when it's time to actually harvest them. But if your onions are starting to look like this, like I said, they're usually ready. This variety is red candy, and then the other 2 beds are the yellow candy variety, but they take anywhere from 80 to 90 days. So just count back when you planted them, and if you're close, then yours should start to look like this. Okay, y'all, so now I'm about to replant this bed since we have some empty space. And so I'm gonna do a couple of eggplants. I have a pepper that is a chocolate bell pepper. I will show you a picture when we get done. And then I have some flowers, I have some coleus, and I have some zinnias. So I'm just gonna play around and plant some stuff in here so that we can fill this bed back up. And then the rest of the stuff that's already in here is short-lived, meaning the dill, once it gets really hot, it's gonna bolt. I'll have to pull that out, and the cilantro as well. Obviously the nasturtium will stay. The lettuce, this is not a heat tolerant variety, so it only probably has a little while longer. So the perimeter will stay for now, but eventually that will be gone too, and then we'll have some more open space that we can play with back here. But for now, let's go ahead and get these things in the ground. Okay guys, I got this bed completely planted. I think it looks good. So we have the dill in the back, and in the front we have the red lettuce that was already there. You can see on this right hand side here, I moved the nasturtium over. You can see right here, I moved the nasturtium over. It was right here, but because this is so big and it not vines, but yeah, has a lot of vines. And look, we already have a nasturtium blossom. I didn't even see that until I moved it. That's pretty. I was hoping that it can just like drape off the side. So hopefully it'll be okay transplanted. But then on this row right here, I have some cinnamon basil, zinnia. I put a Roma tomato in here as well. I put a Roma tomato in here as well so that you guys can see and I can see too how it grows in the tunnel since I already had it. And then I had four Roma tomatoes, so I put 2 of them in here because they may not make it until I can put them outside. And then I have a couple of more zinnias on this row. In the middle row, I put a coleus, and then I have an eggplant, and then I have cinnamon basil and another eggplant. So the same thing that I did over here, I'm surrounding the eggplant with things that hopefully will repel insects and that they will be okay. So I have a pollinator, you know, a flower, and then I have the cinnamon basil, and hopefully the cinnamon will also, that scent will deter pests. And then on the other side of this other eggplant is holy basil that was already here. All of this is dill and cilantro. And then on the far right row, I have another Roma tomato, and then I have that chocolate bell pepper. Let me show you a picture of what the chocolate bell pepper looks like. Okay, I will also try to pop a picture up here in case this one, but you can probably, let's see it right here. I think it's an absolutely beautiful, stunning color. My friend was looking for some, and I happened to be at a nursery and I saw it, so I picked up one for me as well as the ones that she wanted. But it's a chocolate beauty sweet bell pepper, so it's chocolate like a deep chocolate brown on the outside. On the inside it's red. So if you didn't know, all bell peppers start off green, and then you can buy red, yellow, or green, red, yellow, or orange bell peppers or purple bell peppers, but they're going to start off green. And so as this goes from green, the color, if you don't pick it, is going to end up being red because it's red on the inside. But if you get it before it turns red, it's that chocolate deep brown color. It's going to taste just like a regular bell pepper. It's like a regular sweet bell pepper. But I just thought it would be pretty of the color and just the contrast and just to have something very unique and pretty. So if you've done this one before, let me know down in the comments and let me know if you've had good success with it. So I'm excited to try it. I bought one to put in there. So that bed is done. So that feels good to have that bed flipped from some of the spring stuff. We'll keep letting the dill and the cilantro hang out for a few more weeks. And then once it gets hot, I know that I'm going to have to pull it. And then the only other bed that's left to transform into summer stuff is this bed behind me. We have the snapdragons in the back, and then these are potatoes. And so you can see I already have flowers on the potatoes. And so it'll probably be another 2 to 3 weeks. Those will come out, and then we're going to plant some bush green beans, I think, in this place right here. So for the most part, the tunnel is planted. I'm just finding, look, at this point, little nooks and crannies to still put some of these flowers and plants in that I have. So what you didn't see on camera is that yesterday I had to re-sow my purple hull peas. This is the third time. Y'all know who they from, so don't even ask. But it's the third time I had to re-sow my purple hull peas. So hopefully I will get some better germination so that will take off. And then also I had a couple of other nooks and a couple of holes that I put some squash in. And then I think I got maybe 3 or 4 more holes out there that I can put something in, and then I'll just keep filling up the space. Y'all, I'm doing the best that I can, trying to maximize the space that I have. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope that your gardens are doing very so well. And remember, y'all, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.